Ledian got one and so did Renner.
Yay. Commentary's getting some love. And it looks like it is a Metronome match.
It's a normal type match as to be expected. We have got Ledian, Meowth, Vigoroth versus Mr. Mime, Machoke, and Wailord.
Alright, so there's some decent abilities here. I don't think Water Veil will come into play too much, but Technician is usually very good in Metronome matches because there's lots of moves that have a lower amount of power. Technician boosts moves that have 60 or less power by 50%, and both Mr. Mime on red and Meowth on blue have that. Vital Spirit might come into play if something like Spore or Lovely Kiss hits, so it won't be able to fall asleep. And No Guard will cause all moves to hit, both for Machoke and the person who's fighting Machoke, so not person, but you know.
That can cause havoc if you manage to land on a one-hit KO move. Most of the berries there are just to reduce damage from super effective moves, I believe. And there's a mental herb there on Wailord, which I can't quite remember what that does. Does that reduce... is that the one that reduces stat downs? I can't remember.
I think Mental Herb prevents incapacitation from like Attract or Taunt or Encore or Torment. Actually, yeah, I think it's those. And then after it prevents that, it disappears.
Too many herbs in Pokemon.
So like if you get attracted or taunted, that's actually really relevant for a Metronome battle. Because if you got taunted in a Metronome battle, since Metronome's your only move, you'd be forced to struggle. But because you have a Mental Herb, it would negate one taunt.
Ooh, that's
and
a fair
struggle
enough.
does 25% of your HP, so that's a significant amount of damage.
I just got neutral payout on pinball, which is, you know, what you can really hope for. People seem to be favouring the blue team, with the red team currently at, hang on, it's moving, 311% payout.
Yep, 3-to-1 odds here. It's always fun to see Wailord do lots of cool stuff, especially since it doesn't have hands or feet, and also because it's so big. Doing stuff like Mega Kick or Seismic Toss.
And yet it's so light. I mean, I know it's the balloon whale, but come on.
Interestingly, Vigoroth and Mr. Mime are speed tied, so that might make a difference.
Alright, we're beginning here in the Waterfall Coliseum. Naturally, and we've got Vigoroth and Mr. Mime. Vigoroth's Metronome turns into Force Palm.
That's not going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Has a chance to paralyze, though.
But
it
paralyzed.
gets
paralyzed. That means Vigoroth's going to be winning the speed tie from now on.
Yeah.
However,
Oh, and Vital Spirit came into play. Moves like Yawn and Spore, and Vigoroth couldn't fall asleep. It's getting lucky so far.
It's a bit of a prediction here.
Oh,
Vigoroth
transform. That's not going to be good.
Yeah, I didn't think that was on...
Because now it only has 5 PP on Metronome.
Oh, 20. Which will probably be enough.
Well, I think it will only be able to use it 5 times. Even if it has it in 4 slots, I think it can only use it 5 times.
Well, it wastes its turn buffing with that one.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for it.
So, true Mr. Mime goes for a Gyro Ball. It does a nice solid amount of damage, about half.
Gyro Ball actually does more damage due to the paralysis because it makes it 4 times slower than Vigoroth.
Ah, true. Vigoroth goes for Sludge. It's not too much of it, but...
Sludge has a decent base power, but Mr. Mime has high special defense, so I wouldn't have expected that to do much damage.
Vigoroth goes for another buffing debuff type move. It's not going to be terribly
useless.
Yeah, it's not going to be terribly handy when you've got
Paralysis.
when you've only got so many moves left to go. And yeah, when you've got paralysis.
It's already going to be slower than everything.
Yeah. Ooh,
Doom Desire. That's a good one. Since Pokemon and Metronome battles have lower killing potential on average, you wouldn't expect it.
Guillotine misses.
Might be able to live one more.
Goes for another sludge.
Well, unfortunately, it's going to start struggling to death now. Probably, if I'm right.
When you look at the moves, it was goes for Endeavor, which is pretty handy. Either way, it looks... See, it's still got 5 PP in the other Metronomes, which should... Yeah, it's still going. No? No. I guess it was just a display error. It was a display error.
I thought that it would start struggling, but maybe it just starts failing.
Huh, that's interesting. We should probably report this.
Well, I think it's intended, because when I was a kid and I would, you know, hack like 4 Metronomes, it would never work after the first one was gone. So I guess it just fails. Which means it's slowly going to get beaten to death. Mr. Mime is very weak though. It's 2 HP and paralyzed. Meowth was faster than it anyway. So as long as Meowth gets an attack, I think that they'll still be in pretty good shape. I'd say maybe Red has a slight advantage at this point. It's hard to tell, because Machoke has stab on any fighting moves it picks, so it'll do a lot of damage to Meowth, but Meowth has Technician, so I guess it balances out.
Sorry about that, something popped up for me.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. I just might need to leave about an hour earlier, so I'll probably be ducking out when you duck out as well, rather than being on for 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
So Mr. Mime's holding on. It goes for a headbutt. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage there,
I think Meowth used Charm on it, so...
Yeah, that naturally...
I mean, I'd rather have killed it. Oh, and there we go! X-Scissor.
But no curses.
Well, good thing X-Scissor killed it. It could have been bad if Mr. Mime was allowed to stay alive. Even with -2 attack from Charm, special attack still would have done a good amount of damage. Meowth isn't very bulky.
Actually I might be able to stay the 2 hours. Hang on.
Milk Drink to heal the tiny amount of damage it took, which basically gives Machoke the initiative. Cross Chop would have done an amazing... Oh, Chopple Berry, it did hit. There was just a little delay to the berry. Chopple Berry halves the power of the move, but it still does a lot due to stab.
Yeah. So Meowth goes for a Mega Drain, trying to regain the health it lost. It's not a huge amount, but it might be enough to keep it in the game for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it does add up, especially since, you know, Pokemon can't kill as quickly in Metronome on average. It's using Camouflage, which turns it into a Grass type because it was just hit by Mega Drain and Grass resists Grass.
That
or I
could
think
be
maybe it just turns it into the move it's hit, like color change. That makes sense.
Meowth uses one of its normal attacks in Fury Swipes. Come
And
on,
it's
guys,
boosted by
this is a
Technician as
YOLO
well.
match. They only
That
hit
would
twice,
be actually
though.
a good move.
Ooh, and that, Drain did help, and it's just on the clutch damage now.
Yeah, Machoke has advantage right now.
Still, something interesting could happen.
Encore!
Ooh, Encore's probably not what you want.
That's not good. I mean, it only can use Metronome anyway, so that won't do anything. Machoke is on a roll right now, getting these moves. But its special attack is halved right now, because its special attack partially fell earlier. Or was it attack I missed?
Either way, there's 2 left in the red team and 1 left in the blue team.
Ledian is faster than anything on red, and it quadruply resists fighting moves. And it has high special defense, but if it gets hit by like a rock move or something, it'll go down quickly.
Goes for a return in anyway. I believe it's at full affection, but it's not doing a whole lot of damage.
I mean, that's still pretty good for Ledian. They don't really have high attack.
Yeah.
Oh, just as I said, a rock move, it would go down quickly, and it's down in 1 turn. Congratulations to Red Team for defying the odds and winning.
Well done, Red Team. A nice 128% payout. Also, apparently, according to TPP Sim, I'm Lucario faster than Glalie. Okay, I'll accept that.
Is Lucario faster than Glalie?
Thanks, TPP Sim. I'm not sure what music. I'm not sure what that music was, but it didn't sound like anything from 2013. Retro's one thing, but decent chiptune's another.
I haven't really been paying attention to the side game as much.
I know what it's like, but if somebody could, like, give me a bit of a rundown of what it's actually doing here in Dark Greystone, that'd be pretty great. Well, anyway, the token roll goes. It's Chibi and I can't quite see the other one.
Chibi.
Also, no, that was me cracking open some cider. It's a random order match.
This almost could have been a nature-themed battle with bug and grass until Metang appeared.
No. You see, Metang is a metaphor for urbanization.
Wow. I can't believe you just thought of that on the spot.
I spent too much time doing film analysis. Either way, we've got Metang, Scyther, and Ivysaur on blue team. We've got Volbeat, Dustox, and Shuckle on red team.
I was in film for a few years before I switched to political science to finish my first degree, and one thing I learned from film analysis is that you can make anything mean anything.
I got, like, the highest possible mark in my last assignment because I was pretty much just gushing about Satoshi Kon. Like, I knew how to format it properly, but it was kind of a good feeling, especially since I didn't go to any classes for that class. I do not recommend you do that, college-bound TPP viewers, but sometimes you've just got other things to do.
Alright, so let's see. We have random order, so order will be important, and switching is off.
Blue team's got a bit of a weakness and a bit of a strength. Red's just kind of a bit more neutral. Full-on bugs, poison, and rock as its bonus types. TPP Sim says hi, Faith.
Hi, TPP Sim. TPP Sim seems to really like me. Whenever I'm here, I'm always mentioned a lot. It's too bad, though, that I have another love. Z33K33.
It's a love triangle. It's dramatic. We'll see it pop up in the next custom ROM hack by the team.
I'm sure that he has another love too, which is the saddest part.
I love zigzag pretty much. Isn't it wonderful?
I'd say blue has the advantage here because Scyther has Air Slash, which is pretty good against most of red. Depending on how they play the Shuckle though, quad effective Ancient Power is pretty good against Scyther.
The Silk Scarf
it's hard to
will
take
boost
down
cut
Shuckle,
there.
but maybe a poison from Toxic could do it if they can get that off before Safeguard.
I don't know if Technician counts before any other boosts, but there's cut with Technician and Silk Scarf. And Swords Dance.
Yeah.
That could be pretty interesting, but anyway, match begins. Main Street Coliseum.
Hi, Matt, the all-in 41. Yeah, urbanization is
Metang and
overpowered.
Volbeat.
It's gonna just be able to do a ton of damage with Meteor Mash. It resists most things here.
That trick might not have been the best choice in that case.
Metang didn't have an item, I don't think.
Oh,
so
it's just,
Trick
it's
just gave it an item.
The Figgy Berry. Hooray. Anyway, that's going to be a 2-hit KO there.
So Figgy Berry will confuse Metang now after it drops below 50%, but it'll restore a little health.
Ooh, that's a pretty nice solid hit from Volbeat there, but considering it's a 2-hit KO, that's not really going to help it out that much. Volbeat is down.
I think it's better for it to have the berry because Metang has a lot of good resistances and high defensive stats here. So I don't think it'll take a lot of damage, and so the confusion won't be as bad as the 12.5% health that it restores. I think it might outweigh it, depending on the RNG.
In comes Shuckle.
Meanwhile, Meteor Mash is going to do a lot of damage to Shuckle if it hits, but it misses.
Ooh, it misses. Shuckle's going up for some defenses.
I guess they got Safeguard up for potential Toxic, but Ivysaur's not for a while, so perhaps it's just a slow switcher.
Meteor Mash
misses again, allowing Shuckle to use Acupressure, which raises a random stat by +2. It increases accuracy, almost taunting Metang for its misses. If you can't hit, then I will.
Meteor Mash hits this time. Super
Finally
effective.
hits.
It does.
Of course, Shuckle's got a lot of defense.
It's going for an Ancient Power, trying to get that overall boost, but it only does a little bit of damage. Is it really worth getting that boost?
I think I would have gone for Bug Bite instead, because Ancient Power is resisted. Shuckle's offensive stats aren't that high as it is. Bug Bite has Stab and isn't resisted because Steel and Psychic cancel each other out.
Well, as if they were listening to you, it's Bug Bite now.
Still doesn't do much.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what you get when you send in a Shuckle.
Oh, but it stole the Figgy Berry! And now it's gonna get confused. Oh no, it didn't get confused.
No, it doesn't dislike the flavor. That was tactical on the side of the red team.
Berry. Oh, it confuses Pokemon that dislike spicy food, so it depends on their disposition. So it has the potential to be tactical with Trick, but not always. It's hard to tell what kind of Pokemon would dislike spicy food, though, off the bat, and I guess it's not, Shuckle.
I guess in this case it was just luck. But hey, that's how it is.
Yeah, Metang is very strong here, and I think Scyther will be able to finish off with Air Slash because the order was very good for Blue. You know, they wanted to get Metang out before Shuckle so that it could kill it, so that Shuckle's Ancient Powers couldn't beat Scyther, because Scyther can beat everyone else with Air Slash.
Ooh, Shuckle is down and out. Red team has put up a pretty decent, defense, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and the last bastion of red has fallen, Shuckle, so it's looking very strong for blue team right now.
But who knows, we could have some kind of amazing reverse sweep. I'm not counting on it, but it could happen.
I don't know how, but it is possible. If there's extreme throws. Like
Ooh,
if
but-
Ivysaur keeps using Toxic against Dustox and Scyther keeps using Sword Stance, maybe.
Well, at least Metang's down. It's not a perfect sweep for the blue team.
I mean, it is possible for Red to win. Slightly possible. Not very likely.
So to put a bet in on pinball. Ooh, unsurprisingly they go for the air slash. It's about half damage.
Yep, Poison Powder is not going to do too much here.
No, they wanted a stall strat, but unfortunately they're too weak against Scyther there.
Yeah, I think Air Slash is just going to finish it. I mean, Air Slash doesn't have perfect accuracy. It has a 5%
could have
chance
a low
to miss.
roll. No. Poor red team.
Looks like the first Air Slash was a low roll. And the 5% chance that it could have missed didn't happen twice in a row. Which is pretty likely anyway that it would hit.
A decent attempt at fighting back from the red team, but it just wasn't quite right this time round.
Yeah, blue collects a pretty good payout. Things might have been more interesting if the order was a little different, but Metang at first and Scyther behind Metang kind of sealed it.
Pretty much guaranteed it.
Urbanization wins. This is a dire warning.
Move to the country,
or
start
a dire
farming.
history lesson, depending on how you see it.
It's time to go up in Dark Greystone. Sure is some mapping, alright. I honestly do kind of admire their sprite work, because they did something a little different with the default NPCs. But it's a special ROM hack.
21 tokens this time. Make sure to get your inputs in. I always just do select for the memes, and also because that way it won't interfere with anything, because I know select will never get picked.
Alright, we're rolling. We're not going to be able to say everyone. It's...
Lots of people are being selected now.
I got a target!
Oh, that's great.